And you mentioned the word tribe. Why do you then think that there's men out there who need the tribe, like my former friend, but they rage against it to
Mm.
the point where they make you feel like, to your point, it's a breakup?
Well, we need tribe because tribe will keep a tribe of men will keep you accountable. They'll tell you the truth. They'll tell you to, get your shit together. They'll tell you to shut up. I do a lot of man's work, right? Give this an example because examples really take it home. You ready? So we have visitors that would come to the group every week, right? A couple of visitors to check in the group, right? Boys coming in and out like you wouldn't believe who would not hang in there because we keep them accountable and they hate it because they want to be victims. They want you to go, oh my God, right? That's really the difference between a masculine man and a feminine man. One's a victim and it's everybody else's fault outside of they don't take responsibility or accountability for anything, which is masculine. Anyway, but get this story. This is fantastic. This kid comes in. He's a kid. He's 26 years old, I think. And he's in a group and we all check in. And so his check-in was like, oh, so I lost my job. And, I'm like, really, like, it's just fucking disgusting. Or, and we're just looking at him. And then when it comes to the accountability round, because we do, we and so the guy who's leading says, so you lost your job? Yeah, dude. All right. So he's expecting, like, all of his friends and acquaintances to go, oh my God, that's terrible. What happened? My boss a douche. Oh, I'm so sorry, right? This is what he expected except he in a men's group. So he's trying to play victim, and the guy was, and so the leader says, "How many people, like a couple of questions about his work, and turned out he was working in a building on the floor with like 13 other guys, and and the owner or the manager or whatever. So we get a frame on his job and who's around, and he was. Were you the 13th hired? He goes, no, there was three guys behind me you know, and we have distinctive jobs, but like he's not the last hired. And so you got fired. Yeah, because they did it. No, no, no. So you got fired from a job that, you say you're capable of doing. What happened? And he goes, I don't know. It's like, I don't think they like me. And, you know, point happened at the end when he says, he's trying to play victim, and the lead says to him, he goes, so out of 13 guys, they released you, who was hired somewhere down the line. Why did you make sure you were the only guy who they couldn't fired out of 13? Why were you that guy? Why were you this guy who probably just waited for 5 o'clock to kick in to check out, right? You did your job, but kind of half-ass. You did the job because you need a job, but you don't really want to do the job. You don't think they picked all that up? Why you out of 13 and three that are brand new, right? Why did you make sure that you were irreplaceable, the number one guy in that team? And his face, he's just like that's not right. Dude, like his victimhood went to shit right down the spot. He was shamed, instantly felt shame and embarrassed, and it should be. That was the point. Do you know what I mean? How masculine is that? To bitch about it too, the whole time to bitch, to play victim, to blame everybody but his own self. Well, needless to say, we never saw him again. But this is why a lot of boys refuse and hate the fact when you say "man the hell up," dude, that's toxic. Like you guys are a bunch of like, no, no, like because you will never get a sense of self-esteem for yourself, right? And self-respect until you get your life together. That you can look at your life and what you do with all the efforts and sacrifice and go, wow. I did it. Well, look at me go. Right? You be proud of yourself. And all of that energetically, again, if you talk about vibrations, right? A guy who's got confidence, a guy who's got um, his character in place, a guy who's successful, because all of these typically gives us success, self-pride, self-respect, and the respect from the world around you. The tougher the job was to get done, the more respect you'll get from the outside world and for yourself. And this is when people go, wow, good for you. I'm so proud of you, right? Like good, like, and you get sexy with the ladies. You're a capable man, and that's freaking sexy. So, the boys who don't want to grow will call that toxic. men who get it, who just didn't have the role modeling to get there early on, will just grab onto us and just we keep them accountable. We give them the tools, we give them support. I'm here for you. If you get stuck, call me. Right, like that kind of stuff. Like it's support. It's support. The masculine support is essential. Some really don't want it. So much fun to easier to play victim. This thing.